Should Los Angeles Rams fans be worried about a quarterback room considering the bad preseason that Stetson Bennett has had? Let's talk about that in today's video. So here we are back on the Rams wire, and you can see that fans are already losing faith in Rams quarterback Stetson Bennett after an ugly game versus the Broncos. Now, here's the thing. Stetson Bennett had a very good game week 1, other than his first drive where he had a lot of ugly, could have been interception throws. He actually played very well, was one of the best quarterbacks that week. Now, going into week 2 and 3, he did not play well last week. He only had a rushing touchdown, and then this week he had 2 interceptions. So, kind of been on a decline, and a lot of people are starting to lose a bit of confidence in him. Now, is this warranted? Let's talk about that, because Matthew Stafford, hey, he is a bit fragile. He has had surgery on his elbow. Who knows what could happen during the season? He's a very tough guy, but if he were to eventually, get hurt, and then Stetson Bennett would have to take over, a lot of people are not confident at this point. That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So, Stetson Bennett had a large contingent of Rams fans excited after his preseason debut against the Chargers. Like I said, he threw a pick against the Raiders in week 2 of the preseason, and in the first half against the Broncos on Saturday night, things got even worse. Bennett completed 4 of 9 passes for 19 yards, throwing 2 interceptions and taking 1 sack. He completed nearly as many passes to Broncos as he did to Rams teammates. That's kind of a messed up thing to mention, but which is never a good sign. The interceptions weren't exactly deep shots where he was trying to be aggressive either. They were just terrible decisions. Fans on social media were frustrated by Bennett's performance, and they are suddenly losing faith in their backup quarterback. So now we're going to look at a few tweets that people have made. Now, Turf Show Times is a very respected Rams account, and they said Stetson Bennett may only make the roster because the team is hanging on to a 4th round pick and isn't contending. There's no way he can play against players who will make an NFL roster. I applaud Maurice Jones-Drew for spinning everything as positive, though. See, a lot of people get mad when you don't overreact as a Rams fan. Personally, I was a Rams fan that was very complimentary of Jared Goff in his time with the Rams. Now, a lot of people were very emotional about Jared Goff and would always, flip on a dime. When Jared Goff would do something good, they'd be like, oh, maybe he isn't terrible. And then as soon as he did something bad, they would have, takes like these where they are just absurd after one game, having a bad game, maybe throwing 3 or 4 picks. The sky is falling. This guy is the worst quarterback that has ever lived. Now, I'm more like Maurice Jones-Drew, where I like to try to keep a bit of perspective. So you're going to see all these fans are going to have wild takes that are wildly over-exaggerated because we just don't have a big enough sample size to make a determination on Stetson Bennett yet, guys. So Stetson Bennett was seen as a 5th to 6th rounder by some draft experts. He has thrown 4 interceptions now in the preseason. Meanwhile, DTR and Aiden O'Connell performed well. Were taken after Bennett. Still too early, obviously, but worth mentioning. And, it's also worth mentioning that everyone after week 1 was saying that Stetson Bennett was the best quarterback taken in the draft. So he had 1 good game, he had 2 bad games, and people are overreacting like this. So that's another thing to, look at. Clap Caesar said, I don't want to see any more nonsense about Stetson Bennett being the future of the franchise ever again. Now, here's another thing is I also make videos talking about how Stetson Bennett could possibly be a, future of the franchise. And I make that before I see him throw 4 interceptions. So, a lot of people are judging when they have more context and then they can judge. So I'm a bit defending myself here, but also at the same time, it's like, hey, give other people that are also saying these things online, the time to at least be like, oh, maybe he's not the same guy, rather than just bashing people. But it's the internet, you're gonna bash people. Holding Cancer, he's a great Rams page as well. He said Stetson Bennett has been a turnover machine the past few weeks. It's true. That's what has been happening. He needs to reel it in. Nick Perkins said, my week 6 prediction of Stetson Bennett being a used car salesman may have been a little off. He could be dropped by week 1. We'll take a look at his interception here. This was the first one, I believe. Pretty bad throw. Pretty bad throw, I will say. Stetson Bennett is going to lead the league in INTs one day, but hey, keep calling him the future of the Rams. Just another thing of not giving people the time to make updated, takes after getting the same information as you. So Brian Juanu, maybe just shut up. And then we got Ethan Shiraze. Stetson Bennett needs to be better, which I totally agree with. We'll take a look here. So just an absolute terrible throw. You see quarterbacks make these type of throws all the time, but you don't see quarterbacks do this where they force fumbles on their interceptions too often. Either way, doesn't make up for the fact that he threw that interception and put the Rams in a terrible spot. So the Rams should have taken DTR instead of Stetson Bennett. And here we go again. We got another hindsight 2020 type of take. But that's just what is going to be happening. I believe this should be probably the same. Yeah, that's the same highlight. So we won't go over that again. But that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. Guys, give people the time and respect of being able to update their takes before you kind of bash people that have said, hey, maybe Stetson Bennett could be the future of the Rams when he has a great week one. And yeah, maybe that is overreacting to week one. But it's in a positive light. Let's try to keep things positive in the Rams, space, rather than just being negative and calling people out like, me with making videos when I don't even have the same information when you update your takes, but I can't update mine before you're bashing me for them. So just make sure that you guys are thinking about that. But either way, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.